everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, the Sulphur Springs School Board decided to purchase school buses without seat belts. Kindergarten and Head Start buses will still have the safety devices required by law, but all other new buses will not have seat belts for students. Superintendent Mike Lamb cited budget constraints as the prime reason for his recommendation of buying new buses without seat belts. Since buses with seat belts are able to seat less students, Lamb said the district would have to buy more buses and employ more bus drivers to handle all the students that ride the bus, something the district's budget cannot afford. In other business, Superintendent Lamb presented Texas Association of School Boards Recognition Program certificates to Ryan McKenzie for grocery supply and to Paul Harvey for Christus Mother Frances Hospital, Sulphur Springs, for their support of SSISD and the community. Board President Robin Vaughn presented plaques recognizing Carissa Carter as valedictorian and Maddie Millsap as salutatorian for the senior class of 2019. Business manager Sherry McGraw presented the school board with dates for budget workshops this summer in readiness for adoption of a district budget. First workshop is planned for a regular board meeting on June 11th, and Ms. McGraw plans to present a preliminary budget. A second budget workshop will be during a regular board meeting on July 8th, and a final draft of the budget should be presented at the board's August 12th board meeting. After retirement as a vice president for a Houston pharmaceutical company, Don Brown and his wife Nora moved to Sulphur Springs in the early 90s. The move followed a lifetime of ministry and world travels and put them closer to their two children and grandchildren. Then, in 2017, following the passing of his wife and 68-year-old prayer partner, Brown decided to put their many experiences into book form. His self-published work entitled Experiences of a Lifetime was released this year and will be available at a book signing event at Good News Christian Bookstore at VF Outlet Mall in Sulphur Springs. That book signing will take place Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Brown also had a book signing on Thursday afternoon. In sports, I visited with Wildcats head football coach and athletic director Greg Owens about several topics Thursday morning, including spring workouts, which wrapped up Thursday. All that's left is the spring game coming up Friday at 6 p.m. at Gerald Prim Stadium, and Coach Owens talked about that. He also discussed the EDGE conditioning program that begins next month, and Coach Owens also discussed summer camps coming up in various sports this summer.
I don't know, we put a whole lot of stock in the game. The game itself is really for just the kids to have a little more competitive feel, maybe have a winner and a loser and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to have some kids that won't even play in it because they got a little tweak here, tweak there. So, my biggest fear about the spring game for me as the head coach is come out of it healthy. I don't want any injuries and all that. So some guys are worried about right now that are a little hobbled. They won't even see the field, and they'll get over that. But, it's one of those things. We want to get them healthy and take them into the spring so we can get them ready. Take them into the summer, so we can have them ready for the fall is a big deal. But spring's been good for us this year, as everyone kind of knows. I assume they know, but we lost 32 seniors last year. So it's a young group. It's a youthful group. It's a group full of energy and excitement and still don't know which way they're going sometimes. And we try to put a lot of pressure, a lot of heat on them, put them in some awkward situations and see how they're going to react to it. Case in point, maybe a quarterback guy fighting for the quarterbacks, Caden Wallace, putting him in some situations and see how he reacts under the pressure and be able to deal with blitzes and those things. So, and big part of us, we started doing spring, I don't know, it's maybe our third year, you can probably correct me on that, but his big deal is develop offensive linemen, quarterback getting comfortable in the pocket, and really defensive front. the front seven on our defense, so those guys to see what's going on, and then even bringing in the safeties as far as run fits go. What are they going to do? Again, I just talked to one of our school board members this morning. He said, "Man, I watched in 7-on-7. There's only about 5 guys out there that have any varsity experience," and he's right. So the more we can do that, so you're seeing us probably in a lot more 7-on-7 events than we've ever done in the past. And really, that is just for reps. I don't care who we play or where we play or kids reading stuff right. It's just getting them to touch ball, get reps, throw and catch and cover, and do all those things and be able to make adjustments and think on the run. So we're very proactive in doing a lot of that stuff this year. And same thing with spring ball. We've been trying every day. We have an inside run, a team run, but there's a ton of fundamental work done during the period that we're just having to teach, and as much video we can get. So it's been productive. It's been very good. There's been a lot of bright spots. I'm not going to go through all those or whatever. I'll leave somebody off. But it has been very productive in a lot of areas, and also revealed that we have a lot of work on. But the good thing about it, we know what we're working on going into the summer. Now, this summer, too, UIL's allowed us some more freedom. We'll have our edge camp. We'll go back to away from Michael Johnson. They've kind of gotten out of the high school business now, and they're really more focused just on their place there. So we'll go back to doing what we've always done. And but in that, UIL's allowed us 2 hours of skill work per kid for the summer, per week. And so we're allowed now. So what we'll do after edge is the linemen, O-line, D-line, maybe linebackers, we'll just do like 30 minutes of fundamental football work where we truly can coach them, not just on strength and condition, we can coach them on football. So we'll do some of that. And then we're going to take our skilled kids, and we're going to take them and go Tuesdays and Thursdays at night, probably at the Prim or in here, and just work on 7-on-7, work on just skill, work on just man-to-man coverage stuff. So that's a little bit of a rule change for the UIL. So hands off. So we're with those kids anyway. It's frustrating sometimes. You sit there at 7-on-7 and the kid gets away from you from the spring and starts developing bad habits. So we'll have an opportunity now to correct some of that stuff, and hopefully get them where they're a little more skilled, and when we walk in, we won't be worried so much maybe about scheme and all those kind of things, but we can continue to work on the fundamentals on a daily basis and make all that work. So I know I got on a little rambling rampage there, and I'm not even answered your question, but good spring was good to us. It really has been good, and yes, I would recommend it maybe again next year, but every year we'll evaluate and see where we're going to go. So looking forward to the spring game, which is on Friday night. Like you said, we'll have a walkthrough. We'll break them into teams. We'll have a little blue and white break up today and put one on the side of the curtain, one on the other side of the curtain, and let those put on some trick plays or whatever they might want to do. And coaches start getting a little competitive at this point too, and so we'll let those guys get after it a little bit, and it'll be good for us. And then at 6 o'clock on Friday night, we'll go maybe for about 2 hours, but we'll kind of go back and forth. We'll sprinkle in some special teams, which will be some mixed blue and white guys. So all that stuff will go on too.
All right. I would think you got into the edge a little bit, and I would think with a young group like this, and it's more critical maybe this year than we've seen in the past to really be in good shape.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think every year it's getting that way. I don't even an experienced kid. They need to come in shape, and they got to come in ready to go. I mean, this thing's turned into a 24/7 year round, conditioning wise. Athletes just have to be in condition, really for them, for their health. For them to be ready for us as a team then to walk in and be able to start calling plays and putting in schemes and getting back after it. The thing we learned last year too, going back to spring ball, the retention level, since we did so much and we took our 18 days or 15 days, whatever it is in spring, then where the recall was much greater in the fall. I mean, so the coach, man, they know it. The kids know it. So we just got to make sure we go back to the fundamentals. But it's such a key, and you can tell it. Those kids that go through edge, it's a breeze, man. Those guys fly right through it, and here we go. And so it kind of prevents injuries. They're in shape. They're ready to go. We're ready to play. Which going through spring, you lose a scrimmage. You still have to start a week later, and so our old alumni Clint King will be going to his house at Liberty Ilu. He got the head job there, so we'll go line up and play him. So see what he's going to go do. So it'll be a quick deal. So Steve Wells, who was there, is not there anymore. So we'll have one scrimmage to kind of get ready and go against Clint and see what those guys have. I don't know what they got. They got some speed, and so we'll have to be ready for that. So it's important that we're in shape. And some kid doesn't come in and pull a hamstring because he didn't do anything all summer, or he tweaked an ankle and he's fighting that the rest of the year. So we we really push that hard with our kids, and our kids are very receptive of that. So, and the guys that come and commit and get after it, they're in. I mean, they're all bought in, and that's what we want. We put a board up in there, the commitment board, and we check off who's here every day and who's not here every day, and put a little peer pressure on those kiddos that aren't, and challenge those guys that are leaders in there to get their teammates here.
I know from talking to the coaches, there are a lot of positions up for grabs, guys competing for those positions. And if one guy's in shape and one's not, then at least at the start, that one that's not in shape is going to be down on the chart a little bit.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it comes in what guys know what to do and who can make plays. I mean, that's what it comes down with us. And those guys that are in shape usually have the upper hand on some of that stuff because they're usually just physically not bent over and they're ready to go, so they can endure and sustain longer and react a lot quicker.
All right. You have your usual camps coming up in all sports. One thing I did notice right away looked like the football camp that's usually, right before two-a-days or in August practice. Looked like you're going to have that in May this year, is that?
Well, yeah, we kind of broke it up a little. We're trying something different. Our ages 3 through 7th grade's not been great. It's been okay. So we're going to try something a little different. So kids entering 3rd grade through 7th grade for next school year, we're going to have their camp on the 28th and 29th and 30th of May. And we're going to have it here in the indoor. We'll have it from 6 to 8 p.m. So we don't really know what the reason for that is. It's the end of the summer. Maybe they forgot about it. Maybe we couldn't get the information. Maybe it's not good for parents. Maybe it's the cost. I don't know. But we made our football camp $20. It's 6 o'clock, so maybe the parents now can get them here. So we're just going to see. It's a great camp for kids just to come and have fun. We want to offer it to them. Our 7th graders we've been working with in the school year over there, and then when we typically have it, they still almost have a month even before they come back. So we're just trying something a little bit different. Some of those guys will play Pee Wee football and that stuff. They're starting to practice for that. So maybe it'll be helpful for those younger ones. We're just going to see. We're going to try that. So that's taking place. But we'll have our 8th and 9th grade camp like normal. We'll have it. I think it's the last football-wise. I can't see this. July the 30th through August the 1st. So we'll have it that last week in July, and that's when volleyball camp's going on. That's when tennis camp. So everybody's sports that are really kind of cranking up for the fall have the last week. And then we have everything else scattered in. So we got baseball camp, girls basketball, softball, all those things are scattered in pretty much for the month of June. And soccer's in June. And then volleyball and football and tennis will be towards the end of July. So that's going on. Now, above all that stuff, we've already kind of talked about the Edge, and Edge is our summer conditioning camp. So we offer that to our kiddos that are coming into the 7th grade through seniors, and roughly it's 8 to 10 for those kids that are coming into high school, and then from at 10:30 typically we'll bring in, maybe it's 9:30. I'm sorry. Yeah, 9:30 to 10:30 we have our junior high guys and gals. So we let those guys come in. We shorten it down for them. We don't do a whole lot of conditioning. We're just really trying to teach them the basics, the technique, some agility stuff. We don't really take them and go run the hill or condition heavy with them. We want them to have a good time and have fun and just kind of get a mix of it and teach them about some basic lifts and lifting. So that's entering 7th and 8th grade. We'll do that on the Edge part of it. And then we may take those guys per sport too and kind of have a little 30-minute extra skill time with them. We'll just kind of see how that works out. Again, first year we got a semi-plan. We're going to kind of feel our way through it. It also kind of depends on how many kids we end up showing up for those things. Again, this year's camp, last year was a cost because of Michael Johnson performance, but this year it's free. It's free of charge. So we want those kiddos to get here, and I don't know if it's good or bad. It's always good when you get something free, but sometimes the motivation's not there. I think last year was a pretty good attendance, maybe because they paid. Maybe mom and dad kicked them out of the house and said, I paid for that, get there. So I hope the same thing's here. I paid for that, get up there and, get away from this remote control and these video games and get up there and run around for a while. So that's our goal. We want kids here and get them in shape, and each sport's doing a little bit of different thing when you talk about the skill part of it. And again, we'll just have to kind of work through that. It's too much for me to kind of confuse everybody here on what we're doing. But I know volleyball's got a plan, basketball's got a plan. Everybody's going to kind of how they're going to work through their stuff and how they're going to get their skill work in. And it's kind of like we've been doing. They'll have a lot of open gym stuff and time for them, but then be able to do some dribbling drills, coverage, those kind of things, shooting things with them. So I know they're looking forward to it also.
kind of a one-stop place to get all the information. Probably that's the school district website.
Yeah, website, we've got I don't know if he can get a shot of that or not right there, but he can send it later. But we've got this on our website. It tells about every camp. It tells the cost. It tells the contact. On our camps, it's okay because we've fought it for years trying to get early registration and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much it's walk up. But we're going to need a parent signature, so you can't just dump their kids off. So they're going to come in and have to pay for it and then put a camp signature on us for liability reasons and all that. So we'll have a contact and who get a hold of in case there's a problem. But everything else is pretty much chaotic right now. It's into school, and we're trying to do spring ball, 7-on-7, make all these summer plans, wrap up school, get kids graduated, and we're still having it was a nice honors breakfast this morning for academic honors, and we have awards ceremonies tonight. Athletics is a part of that too a little bit, so we're going to give away our giveaway. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but we will talk about who's receiving the James Cameron Fighting Heart and the Forrest Gregg MVP award tonight too. Since we had really good feedback too. I'm just going to ramble some more if that's okay with you. Had really good feedback about our banquet. Got a little bit for not having one big banquet. I know some people, you miss seeing everybody, and I did too. But the reality was we're having great individual banquets. Got great praise from our football banquet, great praise from the track kids going and meeting in the park. The golfers, been some great response from those. So I think the kids and the parents have really enjoyed it because you can kind of slow down, talk about their kid a little bit more, and then really just spend time on them and their sport and them get together one more time. So there's been really positive feedback in that. I know next week, I believe it's Tuesday, boys and girls basketball are going to be at the country club, so they're going to have theirs out there. I think volleyball may be going to Top Golf and go play and do stuff there. So you're able to do some unique things with the kiddos, but the biggest thing is finding time. We're all crammed into the school year, and graduation parties and banquets and all this other stuff we're kind of working around, spring ball and boys and girls playoffs and state track meets, and so everybody's trying to find time to do that. But it's been a really good year. Overall, just to recap the whole year, I mean, all teams have been successful. We sent kids to state and cross country. Sadavia got to go in track. Baseball and softball teams played deep in the playoffs. I mean, just go back. We get experience. Austin, the Final Four with our boys basketball. I mean, it's been a really good year, and every sport has really been successful this year. So excited for the year, and fun to sit back and talk about those kind of things. But you're still in the rat race and running, and here we go, and trying to get it all done, but also kind of recognize these seniors as they go out.
That's Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.